In front of us here are the Blackfriars Bridges. This whole area here is Blackfriars. We used to have a Dominican monastery on the north side of the river, and people would see the monks walking around in their black robes and just started calling them the Blackfriars. So these are the Blackfriars Bridges. We nicknamed them the 2.5 bridges. So this first bridge here, that's Blackfriars Station. That's the only station in London you can get to from both sides of the river, and the only one that's solar powered as well, up to 50%. You see those massive panels on the roof up there. The second bridge is the Victorian Foot and Road Bridge. And the half bridge refers to those mysterious red columns that I told you about earlier. So these columns, why are they there? Now I can tell you. It's really easy. These columns wedged between these bridges used to support their own bridge, the St Paul's Bridge. They brought the very first steam trains across the Thames through London and eventually into Dover. But unfortunately, trains got heavier and heavier and heavier, and then they introduced diesel, and pretty soon the bridge just could not support their weight anymore. And that was fine. They got rid of the bridge, and then they tried to move these columns, and very quickly worked out they couldn't. Basically, they were too well made, they were too heavy, they were too deeply embedded in the river. They worked out they would need a ton of dynamite to shift these, and they were paranoid that if they did use dynamite, anything around them, including the bridges either side, would be damaged or destroyed completely. So they had absolutely no idea what to do, and they debated and argued this for years and years and years. And then they finally decided, you know what, let's just paint them red, leave them there and hope that no one's going to notice. So now we are stuck with them. And we talk about them 8 times a day. And they've been grade 2 listed now, so they are not allowed to go anywhere. We're very much stuck with them forever. A quick word about this building on our left, this red brick building with the white stripes and the tower on top. That is the OXO building and the OXO tower. Used to be the meat production warehouse where we made OXO stock cubes and gravy, which are, still quite popular today actually. It does not say OXO on that tower though, legally. When that tower was built in the 1930s, advertising on this river was illegal. This was known as a royal highway, which was a nice way of saying the king did not want to see adverts when he was cruising up and down. So OXO got dragged straight to court over that tower. In court, their extremely clever lawyer argued to an extremely stupid judge that wasn't OXO up there. Nope, they just ordered a random selection of shapes to decorate their tower with. Just so happened that what turned up were circles and crosses that happened to light up in the company colours at night. Judge believed it, it got thrown out of court, so that is the best case of free advertising you will find on the Thames today. You might have to squint a little bit to see this, but just have a quick look to our right hand side. On the back side, you see that big stone archway coming up with the face carved into the top? Look on the right hand side of it. You see that set of silver dragons decorating the road? That marks the exact point where the City of London ends and the City of Westminster begins. Bit complicated, but we have 2 cities here in London. One's for commerce, for money, and the other is for royalty. Our law says you cannot mix commerce and royalty together. Therefore, if the Queen wants to go past that point there, where those silver dragons are, she first has to ask for the Lord Mayor's permission. She does ask him as well, every year during a Lord Mayor's show. I'm sure he always says yes, but she does have to ask. So yes, look out for those silver dragons, because I guarantee you will notice them a lot more now. They are everywhere, marking the boundaries of the city. I like this part of the cruise the best. I get to talk about my 2 favourite buildings in London now. The first one's on our left, that incredibly ugly concrete building that looks like a car park with the electronic advertising on the front. That's our Royal National Theatre. Prince Charles says it looks like a nuclear power station, and he is correct. But there are 3 really beautiful theatres on the inside, I promise you, and you can get day tickets in there, £15. I'm talking front row seats, just show up at 9 o'clock in the morning, and a ton of their plays get West End and Broadway transfers. It's really, really worth it, honestly. My other favourite building is on our right, far more traditional and beautiful, with a green dome on the roof. That is Somerset House. It's Georgian. It used to be the old public records office where we registered births and marriages and deaths, so we used to call it the Hatcham, Matcham and Dispatcham building. Now home to Michelin star restaurants, art galleries, exhibitions, ice skating rink in the winter, open air cinema in the summer. Very underrated building, Somerset House. Well worth a visit. I could rave about it all day. They've always got something going on inside. So we're about to go back through the Ladies' Bridge, and then I'm going to show you the oldest thing you're going to see in London today. If you promise me you won't go into a museum. Coming up along the bankside to our right is a pointy stone obelisk that looks a little bit like a pencil. Now, this pointy stone obelisk is called Cleopatra's Needle. Cleopatra's Needle is 3,500 years old. That makes it older than London. That makes it older than Cleopatra by about 1,000 years. That's got nothing to do with her. It just came over here on a boat that was called the Cleopatra. No, the needle was actually a gift from the Egyptians in 1812 to celebrate the victory at the Battle of the Nile. Please note, I did say gift. It's one of the few things we did not steal from Egypt. We're very proud of that. But the sphinx either side there, we did add those ourselves, and we made a mistake. Egyptian mythology says those sphinx are supposed to be facing away from the needle in order to guard it. We accidentally faced them towards the needle, having a chat with it. There is even a Victorian time capsule buried at the base of that needle. Not sure when it's due to be opened. It's got some really weird and wonderful things in it though, like razor blades and train tickets and cigars and a big portrait of Queen Victoria, and the photos of the 13 prettiest girls in England at that time, and for some reason they're all naked. Don't know how that's useful for future generations, but there you go. Right, we're about to go through our very last set of bridges, so upper deck, last chance to wave at complete strangers if you want to get it out of your system. This is the only time you can wave at a complete stranger in London without fear of arrest, so enjoy that. Once you're through, I will ask you for the last time, I promise, to look to the bankside on our right. There's a gorgeous fairy tale looking castle over there. It's all done up in a French chateau style. Looks like Cinderella should be inside. This lovely castle-like building is called Whitehall Court, and it has a wonderful history. That is the original home of the Liberal Party. That was the home of the Secret Service in Britain during wartime. That's where Henry VIII married both Anne Boleyn and Jane Seymour when it was Whitehall Palace. And now it's home to a very posh hotel called the Royal Horse Guards. And just for your information, they do the best afternoon tea inside that hotel in all of London. That is just personal experience, but I've tried a lot of teas. I've tried Savoy, Harrods, Fortnum's. That one is the tastiest and the best priced. Very good sandwiches. Behind the London Eye to our left, that very grand building with the green windows at the top and the big green chimney, that is County Hall. Used to be the home of the Greater London Council, the GLC, but Margaret Thatcher, not a fan of the GLC, she abolished it in the 1980s and then sold off the building. I mean, it's good news for us at Merlin Entertainments because all the rooms are privately rented now, so we've managed to crowbar a lot of our attractions in there. Don't know if you've noticed. Shrek's Adventures in there now, and the London Dungeons, and the Sea Life Aquarium. Our completely free 4D experiences inside that building, so do that. No excuses not to do that. That comes with your cruise ticket. It takes like 5 minutes. It's like a fun free cinema show. Do it. And the London Eye ticket office is in there too, so I hope you go in on the Eye if you haven't already. I know the weather's blare, but the views are still spectacular, I promise you. And if you don't like amazing panoramic views, calm down, because we do champagne experiences every hour, so have a drink up there instead. We do chocolate tasting, kids. We do wine tasting, adults. We do yoga for some bizarre reason. Someone hired it out to have dinner a few weeks ago for their birthday. 3 courses, 3 rotations, £8,000. You can get married up there if you like. We've had more than 800 weddings. And if you decide to get married, we will give you an extra rotation of the wheel, so completely worth it money-wise.